The story begins over 4,000 years ago in ancient China around 2000 BC. At the time, people had no refrigerators, no electricity, and no way to keep food cold during summer. Ice itself was considered rare and precious, but wealthy Chinese families discovered an incredible trick. During winter, workers would cut huge blocks of ice from frozen lakes and store them underground. Then, during hot weather, servants would mix snow and ice with milk, rice paste, and fruit juices to create frozen desserts for the royal family. Imagine tasting something freezing cold during a burning hot summer thousands of years ago. To people back then, it must have felt almost supernatural. But collecting ice wasn't easy. Workers risked their lives climbing icy mountains or carrying heavy frozen blocks over long distances before they melted. That's why frozen desserts became symbols of power. Only emperors, nobles, and the richest people could afford them. For ordinary people, ice cream was something almost mythical, a luxury they would probably never taste in their lifetime. As civilizations traded goods across continents, the idea of frozen desserts slowly spread westward. In ancient Persia, people living in brutal desert heat became masters of keeping things cold. They built giant structures called yakchuls, massive underground cooling chambers made from special heat-resistant materials. These ancient Persian refrigerators could store ice even during scorching summers. Persians mixed snow with fruit syrups, saffron, honey, and rose water to create icy desserts that amazed travelers from around the world. Some historians believe Persia created one of the earliest versions of sorbet. Then came the powerful Italy and the famous Roman Emperor Nero. Nero became obsessed with frozen treats. Historical stories claim he ordered servants to race into the mountains to collect snow for his royal banquets. That snow was mixed with honey, berries, juices, and wine to create luxurious frozen desserts. Think about how insane that sounds. An entire group of workers risking dangerous journeys through icy mountains just so an emperor could enjoy a cold dessert for a few moments at dinner. But even then, ice cream still wasn't the creamy dessert we know today. It was more like flavored ice or sorbet. The biggest turning point came centuries later during the Age of Exploration. In the 13th century, famous explorer Marco Polo traveled through Asia and returned to Europe with stories of frozen milk-based desserts. Historians still debate exactly how much he influenced ice cream, but his journeys inspired Italian chefs to experiment with frozen recipes using cream, milk, sugar, and ice. And Italy changed everything. By the 1500s, Italian chefs had started creating richer and creamier frozen desserts that looked far more like modern ice cream. These desserts quickly became famous among young Europe's royal families. Soon, ice cream spread into France when Italian noblewoman Catherine de' Medici married into the French royal family. According to legend, she brought Italian chefs and frozen dessert recipes with her to France. The French aristocracy became obsessed. Ice cream turned into the ultimate symbol of luxury. Royal chefs guarded recipes in complete secrecy. Some were ordered never to reveal the ingredients or methods used to create frozen desserts. At royal parties, serving ice cream was like showing off unimaginable way. Guests were stunned by the experience of eating something icy cold in an age without electricity. Imagine attending a royal feast in the 1500s and suddenly being served a creamy frozen dessert while candles flickered across giant palace halls. It must have felt like magic. Then science changed the game forever. In the 1600s and 1700s, people discovered that mixing salt with ice could make temperatures even colder. This breakthrough allowed desserts to freeze faster and become smoother and creamier. Suddenly, ice cream started evolving rapidly. Coffee-flavored ice cream, chocolate ice cream, and fruit flavors began appearing across Europe. Wealthy families competed to serve the most unique frozen creations at parties. But there was still one problem. Making ice cream was painfully difficult. Every batch required hand mixing, buckets of ice, salt, and enormous effort. It could take hours just to make a small amount. That's why ice cream remained mostly a luxury for the rich.